What's up guys, it's the Honest Outlaw here, and we're going to be doing a first shots video of a really cool little product I just got from some of my friends over at Trinity Nevada. Now these guys are a group of engineers and they wanted to make a gun shoot flatter, and they tried to figure out the best possible way to make the Glock platform shoot flatter, and I think they've really done that. This is going to be a first shots video, but I do have about 100 and 150 or so rounds through this already doing function testing with the iron sights, but today we're going to do a first shots with the SRO attached to it, and we're going to have to sight in the SRO in the beginning of the video. But this is the Grnd Zro slide. Now you can get these in a slide or you can get these in a full gun if you want from Trinity Nevada. And what they are is a 416 stainless barrel with a compensator and a sight block attached to them. So what you're going to get out of that is the compensation from the compensator to help lower the recoil and keep the muzzle flat. You're also going to get the lighter weight slide for the lack of material there, which is another way to lower the recoil. And you're also going to get the added weight of the sight block and the non-moving front sight to help reduce the recoil as well. On top of that, we have added it to a OZ9 frame. If you're not familiar with the Zev OZ9, it's essentially a Gen 3 Glock with a kind of like a 2011 style frame and grip combination. So instead of the grip being the lower and the serialized part like on a Glock, these are just grip modules, like kind of polymer 80 modules, and they fit into a steel receiver. So this front part here is actually a steel dust cover as opposed to the plastic version on the Glock as well. So this whole little kit that I'm doing here is designed to be super flat shooting, so hopefully it is. I use these little polymer 80s to test out my silicone carbide skills, and I didn't do such a good job. This was actually the first one I ever did, but I am going to be going to 3M Custom to get one of these done professionally. They do such a good job that I'm just going to send it over to there and have them do the final version of this, because these grips are only like 40 bucks. The slide itself is the one, at least I purchased anyway, has a tin coloring on the comp and on the barrel, but it has a gray coloration on the slide, making it look super sharp in my opinion. They also do really recessed cuts in the front, not only lowering the reciprocating mass and the muzzle flip, but also increasing your ability to get a hold of that slide. Once you start adding a whole bunch of this stuff to the slide, you have a little bit more difficulty actually doing it. If you're not going to use the optic to run the slide, you're going to have to go up here, or you're going to have to go behind here, in which case these really deep cuts on the slide are really helpful for that. As far as the optic cut goes, this is a dedicated optics cut for the RMR or SRO, in which I prefer, believe it or not, over the MOS system. Even though they're less modular, they are more able to take abuse. All right, now this slide also comes with several different recoil springs, so you can tune it to whatever ammunition you're running. On top of that comes with a locking block as well. Now I didn't actually have to use that with the OZ9, but I have heard that it is a very tight fit, so make sure when you're doing it, you just be a little bit careful when installing it. But overall, I think this is a pretty excellent overall idea, and I think so far at least it's executed very well. But we're going to definitely put a couple hundred rounds through it today for the first shots, and then on top of that we're going to definitely do a 1,000 round review, not only for you guys but for me as well, because when I get stuff like this I get all giddy. Like, this is like a kid in a candy store, me trying this thing out. I love innovation and I love going fast, and this has the best of both worlds. Now the last thing I want to mention before we go shoot it is that this isn't just for a G17, this is a G17 length. So as you can see here, to the front of the compensator you get Glock 17 length of a slide. However, they do make them for Glock 19 slides as well, and they do make them for 34s. And again, you don't just have to buy the slide. If you choose to, you can buy the whole gun. I'd say we're zeroed. Let's go take a look quick. right, so this is my shot from way back there, and then up here we had our group here, and then that was our second group, and this is our third group right here. And at 10 yards, that's a pretty good group. I mean, my thumb can cover that with no problem. So accuracy out of this barrel, especially with this cheap training ammo, is pretty excellent. All right, so one thing I like about this so far is that it's sprung correctly from the factory. And that seems like a dumb thing to be excited about, but a lot of times when you get products like this, they're just not ready to go from the factory. And this has the recoil spring already included onto the guide rod for just standard 115 grain ammo. And we've had 0 failures so far out of this, which I'm pretty happy about. Pretty slick. All right, so now we'll just plink a little bit at the 15-yard line and just see what this thing can do. Pull out our concealed carry mag. It's fast. So now we're at the 50-yard line, and we'll just do some rapid fire here, and hopefully we can stay on target. Kind of gives you an example of how easy it is to keep on target. I mean, that's at 50 yards, and I'm honestly overdriving the gun a little bit. That's part of comps and part of changing stuff. Things may not always seem like they work the best right away, because since the gun's keeping it so much flatter than I'm used to, I'm actually driving the gun down more than I need to. So my dot's kind of popping up to the top of the target here at 50 yards. And then instead of driving it right back down to the center, I'm driving a little bit lower, and then I got to come up a little bit. So that's kind of getting used to comp guns, you know, or getting used to a different recoil spring, or getting used to a different power of ammo, or whatever it is. You're gonna have to dial in your recoil control just a little bit. But overall, I don't know if it looks it. I hope it does. I'm not shooting a little bit slower today because I have some bicep tendonitis, but it feels so much more soft than a standard Glock does. Considering the fact this is only the 17 version, I'd love to see what the 34 version is capable of. One of the things that I'm noticing right here though is I did not Loctite the recoil spring, and since it's an adjustable recoil spring, you can see that screw right there is backing out. That's terrible gun safety by putting my finger up there by the comp, but obviously the gun is clear. But yeah, other than that, I mean, obviously you're going to want to throw some Loctite on that when you figure out which spring you want, but that's not really a fault of the gun. That's just a thing that happens with adjustable recoil springs. But overall, the gun seems excellent, and I'm looking forward to putting 1,000 rounds through this. This thing comes to market, I believe, around $1,500 for the slide, which is incredibly expensive, don't get me wrong, especially by comparison to $300 Canic. But if you're looking for an integrated comp sight block Glock for your custom open build, or even for a carry gun, if you're looking to shoot plus P ammo with no recoil, now the one thing you gotta remember with a comp here is I'm shooting 15 grain standard. If I was shooting 124 plus P, even though you'd get more recoil, you're also getting more velocity, the comp works better. So there's a lot of reasons why you'd want to run a comp slash sight block. And in my opinion, if you're looking for that setup, if you're looking to go fast, if you're looking to look cool, this is a great option. However, if you're looking for a budget build, probably not the way to go. Cop.
Jeez.
Going like 100 miles an hour.
Who the hell are you trying to...
Probably responding to an accident, maybe.
Maybe. Okay, anyway.
I mean, what else would he be doing out here?
I don't know. He's got his chairs on though. Okay.
So if you guys are looking for one of these, they did give me a 5% off discount code. In case you're interested, there'll be a link in the description below. Also a link to Patreon, and also a link to a homeless shelter that I'd like you guys to support if you get the time and you have the cash. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. Please help out your local homeless shelters, and remember to recycle. I'll check you later.